My beloved child, listen carefully, because this message is not coming to you by accident. This is not just another random video. This is a signal, a pull from something deeper, something you cannot explain, but you feel it in your chest right now. That strange heaviness, that curiosity, that restless energy that made you click. This is not coincidence, this is connection, and right now your soulmate is watching you from far away. Yes, they are watching you, silently observing your life, your growth, your pain, your loneliness. They see the way you pretend to be strong when you are actually breaking inside. They see the nights you stayed awake wondering why things ended the way they did. They feel your absence just like you feel theirs. But here is the truth that will shake you: they cannot come back right now, and the reason is something no one has told you before, something deeper than distance, deeper than ego, deeper than simple misunderstanding. This is about timing, this is about alignment, this is about a spiritual gap that has not yet been closed, and until it is closed, no matter how much you miss each other, no matter how much you think about them, no matter how many times their name crosses your mind, they cannot return to you yet. And I know this hurts. I know part of you is screaming, why can't they just come back? If they feel the same, why can't they just message me, call me, show up and fix everything? But what you don't understand is that your soulmate is not just someone who loves you, they are someone who mirrors you, and right now both of you are not the same people you were when you last connected. Something has changed, something has shifted inside both of you, and the universe is holding you apart for a reason, because if they come back right now, it will break again, it will collapse again, it will hurt even more than before, and this time it might destroy everything beyond repair. So they are being held back, not because they don't care, not because they forgot you, not because they replaced you, but because they are not ready, and neither are you. And this is the part most people refuse to accept. You think you are ready, you think you have healed, you think you have understood everything, but deep inside there are still wounds, there are still triggers, there are still patterns that would repeat the same story again. And your soulmate knows this, even if they cannot explain it, even if they don't consciously realize it. Their soul feels it, their energy feels it. And that is why they stay away, watching from a distance, feeling you, thinking about you, missing you, but not coming forward, because something inside them is stopping them. Something inside them is saying, not yet, not now, not like this. And while you sit there wondering if they ever think about you, let me tell you the truth, they do more than you imagine. There are moments when they stop and your memory hits them like a wave. There are songs that remind them of you, places that remind them of you, small things, random things that bring you back into their mind, and in those moments they feel everything again: the love, the connection, the intensity, the loss. But then reality pulls them back, and they remember why things fell apart. They remember the chaos, the confusion, the pain, and they hesitate. They step back again because they are afraid, not of you, but of repeating the same cycle. And this is where everything changes for you, because instead of chasing, instead of waiting, instead of asking why they are not coming back, you need to understand what this separation is trying to teach you. This is not punishment, this is preparation. This is a phase where both souls are being reshaped, rebuilt, redefined, so that if and when you come back together, it will not be the same broken version of love. It will be something stronger, something unshakable, something that does not fall apart under pressure. But right now that version does not exist yet, and forcing it will only delay it even more. And here is something you need to hear, even if it's hard. Your soulmate is watching your growth. They are watching how you handle this separation. They are watching if you become stronger or if you become desperate. They are watching if you rise or if you fall. And this matters more than you think, because your energy right now is either pulling them closer or pushing them further away. If you sit in pain, if you sit in lack, if you sit in desperation, you are creating a version of yourself that is not ready for them. But if you rise, if you transform, if You become powerful, independent, and emotionally stable. You are slowly aligning yourself with the version of them that can finally return to you, and this is where most people fail. They wait instead of evolving, they chase instead of attracting, they beg instead of becoming, and that is why their soulmate never returns, or returns only to leave again, because nothing has changed inside them. And right now you have a choice. You can stay in this loop of confusion and longing, or you can break out of it and become the person your soulmate cannot ignore, the person your soulmate cannot stay away from, the person who naturally pulls them back without forcing anything, without begging, without chasing, just by being who you are meant to be. And this is not easy, I won't lie to you. This path requires strength, it requires patience, it requires letting go of control and trusting something bigger than your emotions. But if you do this, if you truly do this, something powerful will happen. The distance between you will start to shrink, not physically at first, but energetically. You will feel a shift, they will feel a shift, and slowly things will begin to move in ways you cannot predict. And one day, when you least expect it, when you are no longer desperate, when you are no longer chasing, when you are simply living your life with strength and clarity, they will come back, not because you forced them, not because you waited, but because the timing finally aligned, because both of you finally became who you needed to be. And in that moment everything will make sense. Every delay, every silence, every tear, every unanswered question, it will all come together, and you will realize that they were never truly gone. They were just waiting, just like you were waiting, just like the universe was waiting for the right moment to bring two souls back together in a way that actually lasts. So do not lose yourself in this waiting. Do not destroy your peace trying to understand something that is still unfolding. Focus on your growth, focus on your power, focus on becoming unstoppable, because that is the real reason this separation exists, not to break you but to build you into someone who can finally experience the love you have been craving without losing it again. And remember this carefully, they are watching you even now, not with their eyes but with their energy, with their soul, and what you do next will decide everything. My beloved child, feel this deeply, because what I am about to reveal will unlock something inside you that you have been ignoring for too long. There is a reason why even after everything ended, even after the silence, even after the distance, you still feel connected to them, as if an invisible thread is pulling your heart back to their memory again and again. This is not weakness, this is not obsession, this is a soul tie that has not been completed yet. And right now your soulmate is not only watching you from afar, but they are also struggling within themselves in ways you cannot see. They are fighting battles you know nothing about. They are dealing with fears, insecurities, responsibilities, and inner conflicts that are keeping them stuck in a place where coming back to you feels impossible, even though their heart pulls them in your direction. And this is the painful truth: they want to come back, but something inside them is not allowing them to take that step, because returning to you means facing everything they ran away from. It means confronting their own mistakes, their own flaws, their own emotional limitations, and not everyone has the courage to do that immediately. Not everyone is strong enough to face the mirror that their soulmate represents, and right now your presence, even from a distance, is acting like that mirror, reminding them of who they were when they were with you, reminding them of the version of themselves they lost and the version they are still trying to become. And this creates a conflict inside them, a tension between desire and fear, between love and avoidance, between wanting you and not feeling ready for you. And this tension is exactly why they remain distant, because coming back too soon would force them into a situation they are not yet emotionally equipped to handle. And you need to understand something very important: this delay is not rejection, this distance is not proof that you were not enough, this silence is not confirmation that they have moved on. It is simply a sign that the transformation required for your connection to work has not fully happened yet, and while you are sitting there questioning your worth, they are sitting somewhere questioning their ability to give you what you deserve. They are wondering if they can be better, if they can show up differently, if they can love you in the way you needed but could not receive before, and until they find that answer within themselves, they will remain where they are, watching, waiting, thinking, feeling but not acting. And this is where your role becomes powerful, because while they are stuck in hesitation, you are being given an opportunity to rise above everything that broke you before. You are being given a chance to rewrite your own story, to step into a version of yourself that does not depend on their return to feel complete. Because here is the truth that most people never accept: if your happiness is dependent on someone else coming back, you are not ready for the kind of love you are asking for. Real love, powerful, lasting, unbreakable love, requires two whole individuals, not two broken pieces trying to fix each other. And right now the universe is separating you, not to punish you but to force both of you to become whole on your own. And this is why every time you try to hold on too tightly, every time you obsess over when they will return, every time you check for signs and messages and clues, you feel drained, you feel tired, you feel stuck, because you are resisting the very process that is meant to elevate you. You are trying to control something that is not meant to be controlled, and in doing so you are slowing down your own growth and their return. And I know it is hard. I know letting go feels like losing them forever. I know focusing on yourself feels like giving up on the connection, but in reality it is the exact opposite. Letting go is what creates space for them to come back. Focusing on yourself is what makes you magnetic again. Becoming whole is what aligns you with the version of them that is capable of choosing you fully. And this is where everything shifts from pain to power, because the moment you stop chasing and start evolving, the moment you stop waiting and start living, the moment you stop asking why and start becoming the answer, you will notice a change inside you, a calmness, a strength, a confidence that was not there before. And that energy will begin to reach them even from a distance, because soul connections do not operate like normal connections. They are not limited by time, space, or communication. They are driven by energy, and when your energy changes, their energy responds. Whether they understand it or not, whether they admit it or not, they will feel it. And this is when the roles begin to reverse. This is when the person who was once distant starts to feel pulled back. This is when the one who stayed silent begins to think about reaching out. This is when the one who could not come back starts questioning why they are still away. And this shift does not happen because you forced it. It happens because you transformed into someone who no longer needs to force anything, someone who naturally attracts what is meant for them. And this is your moment. This is your turning point. This is where you decide whether you will stay in the cycle of longing or step into the version of yourself that changes everything. Because your soulmate is not gone. They are not lost. They are not disconnected. They are simply not ready yet, and your job is not to wait for them. Your job is to become so powerful, so aligned, so complete that when they finally do come back, they meet a version of you that no longer fears losing them, because you have already found yourself. And once you reach that point, everything changes, not just your connection with them, but your entire life. And that is the deeper reason behind this separation, not just to bring two people back together, but to create two individuals who are strong enough to stay together, this time without breaking, without running, without losing themselves again. So trust this process, even when it hurts, even when it feels unfair, even when you don't understand it, because something bigger is unfolding, something you cannot yet see but will one day realize was necessary for everything you have been asking for. And until that moment arrives, keep rising, keep evolving, keep becoming, because they are watching, and what they see in you right now is shaping the future of this connection more than anything else. My beloved child, now you are stepping into the deepest layer of this truth, the part that most people are too afraid to face because it requires complete honesty with yourself and a level of awareness that changes everything forever. You keep asking why they are watching from afar, why they feel you but cannot come back, why this connection feels so alive yet so distant at the same time, and the answer lies in something far more powerful than emotions. Far more complex than circumstances. It lies in the unseen contract between your souls, a silent agreement that was made long before you ever met in this lifetime, an agreement that this connection would not be easy, that it would not be smooth, that it would shake you, break you, awaken you, and rebuild you into someone entirely different. And right now you are in the middle of that transformation, and so are they, but at different speeds, at different levels of awareness, and that difference is what is creating this distance between you, because when two souls are not vibrating at the same level, they cannot fully merge. No matter how strong the love is, no matter how deep the connection feels, something will always feel off, something will always pull them apart until that alignment is reached. And this is what is happening right now. Your soulmate is still in a phase of their journey where they are learning lessons they cannot skip. They are facing parts of themselves they have avoided for years. They are being forced to grow in ways that are uncomfortable, painful, and confusing, and until they complete that phase they cannot return to you in a stable way, because if they do, they will bring the same patterns, the same fears, the same behaviors that caused the separation in the first place. And this is something you need to understand clearly. Love alone is not enough to sustain a connection. Awareness, growth, and emotional maturity are what make love last, and right now that foundation is still being built on both sides. Even if you feel like you have already done the work, even if you believe you are ready, there are still layers within you that are being uncovered through this separation. There are still attachments being broken, there are still fears being exposed, there are still parts of your identity being reshaped so that you no longer depend on external validation to feel worthy. And this process is not comfortable, it is not quick, and it is definitely not something you can rush. Because every time you try to rush it, every time you try to force a reunion before both of you are ready, the universe will create distance again, it will create silence again, it will create confusion again, not to hurt you but to protect the connection from collapsing under its own weight. And this is where your perspective must shift completely. Instead of seeing this separation as something negative, something painful, something unfair, you need to start seeing it as something sacred, something necessary, something that is preparing you for a level of love you have never experienced before. Because what is coming is not just a reunion, it is a rebirth of the connection in a completely different form, one that is not based on insecurity or fear or dependency, but on strength, clarity, and mutual understanding. And that kind of connection requires time, it requires growth, it requires both individuals to reach a point where they are no longer running from themselves. And right now, your soulmate is still in that process. They are still figuring things out. They are still breaking old versions of themselves, and that is why they stay at a distance, watching, feeling, but not stepping forward, because stepping forward too soon would disrupt everything they are currently going through. And at the same time, you are being guided to do the same. You are being pushed to detach from the outcome, to release the need for control, to let go of the idea that your happiness depends on their return, because the moment you truly let go is the moment you become free. And that freedom is what creates the space for everything to fall into place naturally. And here is something that will change the way you see this connection forever. Your soulmate's distance is not a sign that they are moving away from you, it is a sign that they are moving toward the version of themselves that can finally meet you without fear, without hesitation, without running. And while they are doing that, your responsibility is to do the same, not for them but for yourself, because at the end of the day, This journey is not just about being with them, it is about becoming who you are meant to be with or without them, and this is where your true power lies, because when you reach a point where you are no longer waiting, where you are no longer chasing, where you are no longer defining your worth based on their actions, you step into a completely different energy, an energy that is calm, grounded, and unshakable, and that energy is what draws everything toward you. Not just your soulmate, but opportunities, peace, clarity, and a life that feels aligned in every way. And this is when things begin to shift in ways you cannot predict. Suddenly they start thinking about you more intensely, suddenly they feel the absence more deeply, suddenly they begin to question their distance and their choices, and this is not because you did something externally, it is because something changed within you, something became stronger, something became clearer, and that shift created a ripple effect that reached them even from afar, because as I told you before, this connection is not limited by physical presence, it is energetic, it is spiritual, it is something that operates beyond what the human mind can fully understand, and this is why you must trust the process even when it feels like nothing is happening, even when the silence feels endless, even when the distance feels permanent, because beneath the surface things are moving, things are aligning, things are preparing for a moment that will change everything. And when that moment arrives, it will not feel forced, it will not feel confusing, it will not feel unstable, it will feel natural, it will feel right, it will feel like everything finally makes sense. And until that moment comes, your focus must remain on your own evolution, your own healing, your own growth, because that is the only thing you can control, and ironically it is also the thing that influences this connection the most. So do not waste your energy trying to figure out when they will come back or why they are not here yet. Instead, use that energy to build yourself into someone who is ready for the kind of love you have been asking for, someone who does not lose themselves in the process of loving someone else, someone who stands strong in their own worth regardless of who stays or leaves, because that is the version of you that will not only attract your soulmate back but will also keep them, this time without fear, without doubt, without the need to chase or hold on tightly. And remember this deeply: they are still watching, they are still feeling, they are still connected. But until both of you complete this phase of your journey, the distance will remain, and that distance is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher, guiding you toward a future that is far greater than anything you are currently imagining. So keep going, keep growing, keep trusting, because everything you are experiencing right now is leading you exactly where you are meant to be, and nothing that is truly meant for you will ever be lost. It will only be delayed until you are ready to receive it fully.